Today we'll talk about incorporating a company in Brazil. Well, first thing a foreign company should consider before going to Brazil is the form of incorporation. The international company may consider acquiring a company in Brazil. It may also consider, for example, doing a joint venture with another company in Brazil, or even, of course, opening a new company in Brazil. Some companies lately, they have also been considering the possibility of acquiring an inactive company in Brazil, which doesn't have any transactions or any operation, and then it could be acquired by an international company, and also this step could accelerate a lot the time frame for this procedure. Once the company decides the type of formation that we'll have in Brazil, then we have the next step, which is the amount of capital that this Brazilian company should have. The Brazilian company will need to have a capital which should be proportional to the size and to the type of activity that the company will develop in Brazil. There is no minimum requirement except for some sectors, but as a general rule, no minimum requirement, but normally the authorities, they require and they ask for a capital proportional to the type of activity, as I said. Then a few other steps to be considered. The shareholders of the company, of the Brazilian entity, can be the international shareholders, can be the headquarters of the company abroad, for example. Then there are two important positions for the international company to consider in the new company in Brazil. First, the administrator. The administrator will be the person that will be responsible for responding before the authorities in Brazil, and also the administrator will be responsible for the operation in Brazil. The administrator should be domiciliated in Brazil, could be a foreigner, but this foreigner should have a work visa, otherwise it needs to be a Brazilian. Another important position for the company in Brazil is the representative of the international shareholders, which could be an accountant or a lawyer, but with a very, very close contact with the headquarters, because this person will be responding and will be approving all the orders and requests from their shareholders from the headquarters in Brazil. Finally, the company needs to consider a fiscal address, which is mandatory in Brazil, a brand name and a corporate name. And especially for the brand name and corporate name, the company needs to perform a research before choosing this name, because the name should be available in the registrations in Brazil. Finally, the company will need to write to develop the bylaws. Once the bylaws is ready and signed by the administrator and by the international shareholders, then the bylaws will go to the Board of Trade for registration. After the registration before the Board of Trade, we will have the necessity of the licenses. This stage may vary a lot depending on the type of activities. You need some special licenses, state license, municipal license or federal license. After the licenses are granted, finally the company is registered, and then you have the final steps, which is the opening of a bank account, the transferring of the initial funds of the money, the funding of the company, and you can start operating in Brazil. The time frame, the expected or the estimated time frame for all these steps is 6 months, but you need to consider some variation depending on the types of license that you need to take, and also depending on the state that you are going to incorporate your company in Brazil.